Welcome to the United Cast. It's an Entertainment Talks podcast for Man United and football. I'm your host Matthew, and tonight I'm going to be talking about Manchester United's 2-0 win away to Crystal Palace in the Premier League with 2 games to go. So initial thoughts on the game, then break housekeeping, and then we'll go into player ratings later. But overall thoughts on the game, we were dreadful today. We really were awful today, I thought. And as I was watching our performance today, one thought that came across to me was, okay, this felt like us, how we were playing pre Bruno Fernandes. That sort of backwards, sideways, useless kind of passing. That was back today. Defensively, I thought we were a joke. I'm really disappointed with us defensively. I think all 4 of the players played terribly. Now I'll give a little bit of credit to Fosu Mensah. He's not played in the first team for 3 years, so you know he's not quite as in tune with the team as Wan-Bissaka, Maguire and Lindelof were. Look, I like Maguire sometimes. I really like Wan-Bissaka. I think he's been brilliant. I have interest in seeing more of Fosu Mensah, and I think Lindelof can be okay. I thought all of them were awful today. Um, Now, I've said all of them were awful. There was a couple of bits and pieces where, like, okay, Maguire made a good clearance here and there, Lindelof did, but overall, I thought all 4 of them were dreadful. I thought De Gea made up for a lot of it. I thought De Gea had a really, really good game today. Made some really important saves, and there might have only seemed like 3 or 4 saves, but if he doesn't save those, they go in, and then we blame him for letting the ball go in. So yeah, I looked at the team today, and I thought, like, okay, that point. If you all remember that point, before we signed Bruno Fernandes, and we were losing to teams like Burnley and Newcastle, and we did lose to Crystal Palace, and we were playing that sideways, backwards football where it looks like we don't know how to play football. That's what I was reminded of today, and I don't want to see that. No Manchester United fan wants to see that. Of course, rival clubs would be happy to watch that, but of course I'm not here to talk about them really. Yeah, it's really, really disappointing to see us play that type of football, and it's just it disappointed me so much. I can't think of any other word to kind of describe it. There was no reason for it as well. A lot of people in the fan base today were saying, like, oh, have we played too many games? Are the fixtures too close together? Everyone's playing a lot of football at the moment. Manchester United aren't some sort of um, exception to that. I almost forgot the word. Man United aren't some sort of exception to that. We haven't been playing more than everyone else. Yes, we got an FA Cup final on Saturday, and we have been playing a lot of Monday or whatever. But yeah, as I was saying, I just it's not good to watch us when we're like this. You look at the 5-2 Burnley game, the 3-0 Aston Villa game, and the even the Sheffield United game. Sorry, the Southampton game where we drew 2-2. Yes, it was a unfortunate result and all that, but you look at the football that we played in that game, specifically the 5-2 with Bournemouth, and there's just such a different energy with the team with these last 2 games, and particularly with today. I think mentally we didn't look like we were there. Physically, I'm not sure, exactly how the players are feeling, because there has been a tough schedule, I guess, on everybody. That's what happens when you try and cram in the end of the season before the start of the new one. But we kind of knew that was going to be the case. But yeah, just really kind of disappointed. And I'm sitting here. It kind of sounds like we've lost or something. We've won the game. We've scored two really good goals actually, and we've won the game. I'm sitting here sounding like we've lost the game, but I don't like to sort of go, oh, we didn't play well, but we got the win. There's like, okay, there's exceptions to that where it's like, okay, we didn't play that great, but we won. But I genuinely thought we were really bad today, and it's not. We shouldn't just accept, like, okay, just because yes we got 3 really vital points towards our chase for the top 4 in the Champions League. That's great. That's really, really good. But your performance has got to be better, and we got lucky today as well. There's a couple of chances. The offside goal that was just about disallowed. That could have taken us I don't think we'd scored at that point, but yeah, we could have conceded then and all that, but yeah, it's just I don't like when we play like this. It's not good to watch. It's not good for, well, anything Manchester United related really. So it's just a bit of a disappointment. But let's move past the negativity. You know, there's reasons to be negative, and then there's big reasons to be positive. We did win 2-0. We did do some really good attacking play. I think at the moment for Manchester United, we're defending really badly. I think the last couple of games really badly. And when you look at the Aston Villa win and you look at the Bournemouth win, yeah, the 5-2 Bournemouth and the 3-0 Aston Villa win, we didn't really lead our defence as much, so that's sort of why we weren't exposed as much at the back. But then you look at the 2-2 Southampton and you look at the this 2-0 win against Palace, our defences have been exposed in both games, and we're great in the attack. When we get going, we're great in the attack. Look at the 2 goals we scored today, they were great goals. But yeah, well, I don't want it to be a situation where it's like, oh, look how good, Bruno and Greenwood and Rashford and Martial and Matic and Pogba, look how good they all are. Um, and then you look at our defence and our £80 million captain and his partner, Lindelof there, and then Wan-Bissaka's not playing great, and then obviously we have got left back injuries with Shaw and Williams, and yes, Fosu Mensah's playing for the first time in 3 years for the first team at least. I think he's been playing in the youth team in some way, shape or form. He's not been playing football for 3 years. I think I've seen him in some lineups for some of the youth squads here and there. But let's talk about the goals anyway. Rashford, really great goal just before half time. Tucked it away really well. Some good bits of play in this game between him and Martial. They do have really good link-up play between the two of them, and it's really exciting to watch when it comes together. And a really good bit of control by Rashford in the box to not lose the ball. He had 2 or 3 players around him, manages to get away from them and just sort of tuck it away in the corner. I'm really, really glad. It made me really happy at that point that I think we played badly throughout the whole game when we had spells of good bits of form in the game. You look at Rashford's goal just before half time. I think that was really a game changer and a really important thing as well. And I'm glad we scored before half time as well. So that was a good goal. Martial's goal did accidentally foul, or not foul, sorry, did accidentally what was his name? Van Aanholt. He came off injured, didn't he? And they added on 11 minutes of injury time or stoppage time. That was quite a lot. But yeah, hope he's doing all right. He came off on a stretcher and he had this oxygen thing with him and all that. I didn't quite see all of it, but yeah, he came off injured and it looked bad. So hopefully he's doing well and all that. Best wishes to him with his health. But no, good goal from Martial. Again, really good link-up play between Martial and Rashford. And yeah, Martial doesn't always look like he does stuff, but he does do a lot of these little passes here and there and his good bits of play. And a couple of times in recent games, holding up the ball for Rashford, and he's able to score, and they link up really well. So they're both doing really well. And yeah, Martial and Rashford continue to keep scoring. So I think that was great as well. But yeah, I do worry about our defence and think like, okay, our next game Sunday, Chelsea, the FA Cup semi-final. What are we going to be defending like? Chelsea are in relatively good form. They did lose to West Ham the other week, didn't they? But they're in relatively good form and everything. I think it's going to depend on who wants it more, because both us and Chelsea are in the race for the top 4. We're both in the same semi-final match against each other. Do we want the FA Cup? Do we want to fight for top 4? Who wants what more? I'm going to assume both clubs want top 4 and to win the FA Cup. I don't think that we should sacrifice the FA Cup, like resting players or changing the team up too much. We're in the FA Cup semi-final. We're only 2 games away from winning the entire cup, so I think we need to just go for it. But yeah, it does just go to show, outside of Pogba, Matic, Greenwood, Fernandes, Rashford, Martial, we're really lacking some squad depth, and that's not been helping us within the last couple of games, I think. So it's a bit of a worry, but we'll see how we get on Sunday as well. So, but in terms of our other parts of our performance, I think I've kind of said my piece. We're great in the attack, but we are worryingly bad in defence at the moment. There's some good bits and pieces where, like, Maguire clears the ball and Wan-Bissaka does something pretty good, but or Lindelof clears the ball or whatever. But yeah, I'm going to kind of echo what I said in the previous podcast, which is Maguire and Lindelof, I think both individually and as a pair, are not doing good enough at the moment. And they were, not to use a pun in any way, shape or form for goalkeepers, but they were saved by De Gea in this game. There's a few, De Gea could have let a couple of shots in this game, and it might have been a different story. But it is what it is. We won 2-0 at the end of the day. It feels, from a performance standpoint, it's a defeat, but obviously from a result standpoint, we did somehow we won this game 2-0. I don't really know how, but that's the way it is. So I've never quite felt, I don't remember the last time I felt this negatively about a win, but you can't just sort of paint over a bad performance with 2 goals and a win. There's some cracks there, and we shouldn't try to paper over the cracks, so to speak. So that's pretty much my thoughts on the performance. Let's move into a bit of housekeeping, and then we will talk about the player ratings. We'll see you for that in a minute.
Hey guys, what's up? This is Donnie, and I host the Adulting with Donnie podcast. And this is not the show to listen to if you're trying to be a better adult. I started this podcast as a way to offload some thoughts that I have throughout the week. My topics vary widely every week. Movies I've seen, guns and gun control, sex, people that are stupid, why I don't care about celebrity opinions, TV shows, snowmobiling. The list goes on and on. I'm always taking topic suggestions from fans of the show too. So join me each week on Adulting with Donnie as I pour some bourbon and allow you to see the inner workings of the mind of a madman. Live free and rant hard.
I'm Christy.
And I'm Jackie.
And we are Killer Fun. We explore the intersection of crime and entertainment every other week.
For as long as people have been communicating, they have been talking about who did what to whom, and is that socially acceptable?
Because the boundaries of society,
crime,
and entertainment have always gone hand in hand.
The more salacious,
or weird,
the better. From books and movies
to television shows and games,
we look at how life and art imitate and inform one another.
And we can't get together and not laugh. So let's face it, there's going to be laughing.
Killer Fun is available anywhere you listen to podcasts, so join us.
Today's sponsor is Kualu. If you'd like to get started with a domain name and a website today, just click on the link in the show notes and that will take you over to Kualu to get started. They also have a live support chat system that you can use, which is in the bottom right hand corner. So get started with a new website and domain name today with Kualu. Hey everybody, if you would like to get the ad-free versions of all of our podcasts and support Entertainment Talk along the way, all you need to do is head over to patreon.com/entertainment talk. Sign up either as a creator or as a Patreon. There's no difference there. That's just the option for either becoming a creator now or just staying as a patron for the moment. And then all you need to do is support us at the $1 level tier. That will get you access to all of the ad-free podcasts that we've done in the past, and get you access to all the ad-free podcasts in that month as well. So it's a great way to support us on Entertainment Talk and to get rid of the ads and get your ad-free podcasts. You can also become a patron at the $3 level tier. That gets you access to ad-free podcasts and allows you to redeem a review of a TV show or a film of entirely your choice. That's one per month for either a TV show or a film review, which is at the $3 level tier. As always, thank you very much for listening. Back to the show. Alright, so recently on Entertainment Talk, another classic reviews episode from yesterday, which is for season 4 episode 6 for Dumb and Dumber, of course continuing with the continuing with the Jim Carrey season, 6 episodes so far. You can go and check all those out for this season, so have a look out for that if you're a Jim Carrey fan, or if you're just curious on my thoughts on the six films, The Truman Show, Liar Liar, The Mask, Batman Forever, where he played as the Riddler. What was last week's episode? Ace Ventura, Pet Detective, the first one of those, and then Dumb and Dumber, so the first film, so you can go and have a look at those. TV Talk 33, this was what I kind of called a pilot watch. Me and Robert tasked each other with watching different shows. He gave me The King's Avatar to watch, which you can go and check out in the US and in the UK on Netflix. Not sure about other countries, but I checked out the pilot for that, and Robert watched the first 2.5 episodes of Unbelievable on Netflix as well. I have also reviewed Unbelievable, the entire series, and there is a link in those show notes to that review, so you can have a look out for those if you want to. Gaming Talk this week, we talked about Ubisoft's disappointing Ubisoft Forward event, where they showed off some new games, showed off a trailer for Far Cry 6, showed off some Assassin's Creed stuff, Watch Dogs, and they are putting Sam Fisher into another mobile game. That's the Splinter Cell character, so you got that as well. And we also talked about some bits and pieces for Flight Simulator, which is coming out very soon for the PC, and soon after that for the Xbox One, so we talked about that. United Cast talked about our 2-2 draw to Southampton. The Power of Naughty Dog, which is a companion piece to this week's Let's Play Sundays episode. But the Power of Naughty Dog just wanted to take an opportunity to talk about the success of the developer Naughty Dog, responsible for Crash Bandicoot, Jak and Daxter, the Uncharted series, Last of Us 1 and 2, and some other games here and there as well. But mainly focusing on those 4 games and just talking about their success. The companion piece to that was Let's Play Sundays episode 50, which was for Crash Bandicoot 1, 2 and 3, and for The Last of Us 2 as well, so you can have a look out for those. Talked about our 3-0 win against Aston Villa. I did a podcast last week talking about my Toy Story TV series pitch. I have a particular idea with very detailed camera angles and all sorts of things like that, so if you're interested in that, it's not me talking about a confirmed TV series, it's just me as a diehard fan of the series talking about an idea that I've got for a Disney Plus Toy Story TV series, so you can have a look out for that. Me and Robert last week did a Q&A and Would You Rather combined podcast, so as you can guess, we answered some questions and answered some Would You Rather scenarios, so you can look out for that. And that's pretty much what we've been doing on entertainmenttalk.org and on podcast platforms. I've closed my Sky Sports app. Let me just click on it. Go to team lineups. So, David De Gea I'm giving a 10 to. I thought he saved our defence today from some embarrassment. I thought he made 4 really good saves. A couple of them were better than others, but overall he didn't do anything wrong. He saved all the shots that he was put to task to saving. He saved our defence. Yes, he didn't save the offside goal, but technically it didn't count anyway because it was offside. So, whatever. But I'm going to give David De Gea a 10. So there's that as well. All of our defence, I'll just give them all between 3s and 4s. I'm going to give Fosu Mensah a 4 because I thought that, after coming into the team 3 years later, he's not really tuned in with the team at the moment. It's his first game for the first team in quite some time, so I'm going to give him a 4, but I still thought all of the defence was bad. Maguire and Lindelof I'm going to give a 3. I thought they were both terrible today. The reason I'm not giving them a lower score is because they did do some decent clearances at certain points, so they both get 3s from me. Wan-Bissaka I'm going to give a 3 to as well. I've spoken about them all already. I thought they were really poor today. Wan-Bissaka, I don't think his ball control was particularly good today. Going down the right hand side, I didn't think he was very good. Didn't link up very well with either McTominay or Greenwood. I just thought all of the defence was poor today. McTominay himself, I'm going to give him an 8. I thought he filled in for Matic pretty well. And look, even though McTominay and Matic are both holding players, they're not the same type of holding player. So you've got to kind of think about that a little bit when they're when he's playing and that, or when they're both kind of playing. But I thought McTominay did his job today. Yes, he lost the ball a couple of times, which is why I'm giving him an 8 and not a 9 or a 10. I thought he got forward kind of decently. I thought he got given a lot of the sort of backwards, sideways passes from the defence and from certain other players as well. But I thought he did okay today. I thought he did good. So Pogba. Paul Pogba. I'm going to give Pogba a 7. I don't think he was quite there today. He did give the ball away a few times. He was another contributor to the backwards, sideways passing because it was all in our defence. And when you look further up from our defence, you've got McTominay and Pogba. And, so that's that. But I thought he got forward all right. I thought that he didn't have a terrible game. I'm giving him a 7, which I think is an above average performance. Pogba can do better, this whole team can do better, and I'm going to give him a 7. Greenwood, I'm going to give a... What do I give Greenwood? He's sort of, in this game and in the previous game against Southampton, he's just been quiet. He's not been good or bad, he really hasn't. He's just been quiet. He got the ball with different scenarios, different situations. There was, I think, a part in the first half where he missed the ball or sort of scuffed it. Should probably be scoring that as well. There was a chance in the second half where he kind of just got a bit carried away and he tried to run into the box. So that wasn't great. I'll give him a 7, I think. That's maybe a little bit generous, but other than those two things, he didn't do anything particularly good or particularly bad. I just think he was quiet in the last 2 games. So, I don't know. I don't feel the need to give him a lower score. I don't think he did anything particularly bad. So, yeah. Bruno Fernandes, I don't think he had a very good game today. Bruno Fernandes is a funny one to watch because he does some really awful passes. He really does. But it's his part of, like, trying for the team, but it just doesn't work often enough. But then when it does work, it really often leads to a goal scoring chance or a goal itself or an assist. So it's kind of this 50-50 situation where, like, some passes you look at him and you think, what are you doing? And another point you look at him and you think, what a pass that was. And it's almost the same type of pass, like these long balls that he tries to do, but yeah, sometimes it's awful and sometimes it's brilliant. So it's a funny situation. And I'm not going to call it inconsistent either. It's kind of the way he plays. I don't know. It's interesting. I'll give him a 7. I thought he had an above average performance. Yeah. So Bruno's a tricky one to give a rating for sometimes. Rashford and Martial, I'm going to give both a 10 to. I thought they were really great. Scored 2 really good goals. Linked up really well again. So I've got a decision to make. Martial, Rashford or De Gea. I've given all 3 of them a 10. Who's my man of the match? You know what? I'm going to give it to Rashford. De Gea does probably deserve it as well. Martial played really well. I think in the last 2 games, I spoke about this 3 matches ago, that Rashford just wasn't quite there with his sharpness. In this game, he definitely was. Maybe not 100%, but he wasn't on his 70-80 sort of percent like he was before. He was in his 90-95% sort of switched on. There's a couple of little bits and pieces that he did in this game that were really good. He scored a good goal. He linked up really well with Martial. So yeah, I'm gonna give Rashford my man of the match. I think all 3 of them deserve it, but you can't give man of the match to 3 men. So yeah, I just thought Rashford looked a bit more switched on than certain other players in this game. So yeah, that's pretty much my thoughts. We play against Chelsea on Sunday. By the way, the reason I'm doing this podcast late tonight is because I have stuff to do tomorrow, and I can do this now instead of tomorrow. So basically, that's why I'm doing it now. So you get a slightly earlier podcast, because I was going to do this tomorrow morning, but I've got some stuff to do tomorrow morning. So yeah, I can do the podcast now. So I'm just doing it now. So, but what did you think of today's performance? What do you think of our defence? What do you think of our attack and the kind of contrast in performance? What do you think of Rashford's form? Who was your man of the match? What do you think of De Gea's saves? What do you think of the offside goal? The 2 goals that we scored? And all that sort of stuff. So yeah, let me know what you think. Matthew at entertainmenttalk.org, Twitter eTalkUK. There's contact page and information in your show notes. So there we go. I will be back on. I think I'll be back on Monday. Don't expect like the same night podcast too often. We play 6 o'clock. Let me just look at my Sky Sports app to remind you the next 2 games, because we play on Sunday 6 o'clock against Chelsea in the FA Cup. Let me just confirm that. Sunday FA Cup semi-final. Yep, 6 o'clock against Chelsea, and then we play Wednesday night 6 o'clock against West Ham, and then after that there will be 1 more game left in the season? Yeah, Palace, Chelsea, West Ham, Leicester. And then that's it for the season, I think, yeah. Unless, if we get an FA Cup final, it'll either be against Man City or Arsenal. So that could be exciting, a FA Cup final podcast. Hopefully we don't lose it. Hopefully we win and we can have something massive to celebrate for the first time on this podcast. So that should be good. But yeah, in the meantime, I will be back on Monday, I think, for the Chelsea game to see how we do against them. I think we're going to beat Chelsea. I do. We've done really, really well against Chelsea this season. And although we're in this kind of weird form situation at the moment, I've just got a good feeling about this Chelsea game. Could be wrong, could be right. I don't know yet, do I? So We shall see. But thank you all very much for listening. You can find everything that we've got on entertainmenttalk.org. If you'd like to support the podcast and support Entertainment Talk, that would be brilliant. You can do that on Patreon. We've got the $1 and $3 level tiers for instant podcast access, ad-free podcasts, and review options as well. So check out all of that on our Patreon page. Amazon affiliate link. If you're buying stuff on Amazon, we can get a small cut, but it won't cost you extra. iTunes feeds, please rate, review, subscribe to those. You can find both Entertainment Talk and Geektown on iTunes. Geektown is of course David's website and podcast for your up-to-date and reliable TV and film news. Geektown Radios is Tuesdays. You can search for that, Geektown, on iTunes and podcast services. Or you can find all of that on geektown.co.uk. For Bex, she's still streaming quite regularly on Twitch, so go and follow her. Trustabytes, BYTES. Go and follow her on there. Follow her on Twitch. Subscribe to her, follow her, whatever the button's called. Just follow her on Twitch and all that stuff. And you can be notified when she goes live and get involved with all that fun stuff as well. Word of mouth, you can tell people that you know about the website and the iTunes feed. Social media, please share them on Facebook and Twitter and in different Facebook groups if you can. I also am streaming at the moment on Twitch, twitch.tv/imatty94. I do need to change that, but that's the current Twitch channel. I'm streaming Last of Us Part 2, so beware of spoilers, just for the Twitch streams, not for the Let's Play episodes, but yeah, there's that as well. And you can find David on Twitch sometimes as well. I would say look out for Let's Play Sundays, but Let's Play Sundays is going to go on a little bit of a hiatus just because there was 4 episodes last week, and I'm just going to have a little bit of a break with that. So still check out those episodes, but anyway, thank you all very much for listening. Hopefully on the next podcast we'll be in the FA Cup final. We shall see. Thanks for listening, and I'll see you next time. Goodbye.